Well, happy Tuesday, and welcome back to an all new episode of the Think on These Things podcast. My name is Kairu, and I am your host. And today is the 89th episode of the series. Now, yesterday, I talked about a massive milestone, actually, a couple of milestones with one of our platforms at Kairu Universe, Self Exploration Academy. We had reached 9,000 plus unique visitors in the month of November. We closed out the month on November 30th with over 1,000 unique visitors in a 24-hour period. And it turns out that a new record just can't wait to be broken over here. So not only did we reach over 1,300 unique visitors on Sunday, but yesterday, being December 1st, we reached and eclipsed that record with 1,512 unique visitors in the 24-hour period that was Monday, December 1st. Also, I think it's fair to say, again, as I said yesterday, if you're watching this on Tuesday, December 2nd, 2025, it was absolutely meant to be. This show is a late morning show. It gets published around 6 or 7, which means, I got to get up in the morning and shuffle around and gather my notes and gather myself and put the show together. Now, the challenge there is that if I am, for any reason, running late, and by the way, I did not put on a timer, so we're trying to do a speed show today because I have a lot to accomplish before this night is done, and also we're late. So if for any reason I'm late in the morning, I miss that window, and I have a lot of work. I have a very busy schedule every single day. So I'm not able to sit down and record until the evening. Today, I actually tried to cheat. I tried to jam this episode into the afternoon, and it just didn't work. I just was inundated with a lot of other responsibilities and deadlines that I needed to meet. So I worked on that. I met those deadlines. We probably will not have 1,500 unique visitors today on the website, but that's okay. We have our goals and we are absolutely crushing it. Yeah, we've cleared our goal for today, so we're good. And that's not what I wanted to talk about today. I wanted to talk about a million different things, but because I'm doing a speedy episode, I want to dive right into the affirmation. So if you have the Book of Positive Affirmations, you can go ahead and grab it now. If you don't have this book, you can go to www.madeupmind.org. It's www.madeupmind.org, where you can purchase your copy of the Book of Positive Affirmations. Today, we're going to read from chapter 3, day 5, and the affirmation reads as follows. Today, I am stronger than ever before. Today, I am stronger than ever before. Today, I am stronger than ever before. And before we move on, I want to check my face because yesterday I got into the zone and I saw some of those clips and I realized that's not the problem I've had in the past, to get real meta for 20 seconds because we don't have more to spare than that, was that I was always looking at myself and never looking at you, the camera, or anywhere else, or at my notes or anything. So I wanted to go ahead and change that. And I think I did such a good job at changing that I didn't even see myself yesterday. It also happened on another episode that I had done this. But today, I'm going to be focused. I'm going to be locked in. I'm going to be checking all the things that I need to check. And this affirmation that I read from the Book of Positive Affirmations, this isn't my first time reading it, obviously, because I wrote it, number one. But number two, I have been meditating on this affirmation since last night. Right now, I'm in the middle of a series of difficult conversations. And I don't know what the outcome of all these conversations is going to be. Some of them are personal. They're about relationships. They're about dreams, goals, desires. Some of them are professional. They're about relationships. They're about money changing hands. It's very funny to me that in these situations, we are forced to see how we would handle this type of situation. Obviously, that goes for any situation that you face in life, but something very unique about conversations about money, whether it is you who is supposed to be coming up off the money or you who is trying to get the money. And I'm often in conversations about both. And I know a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of business owners who will stumble upon this show or this content. You are also often in conversations about both. And I don't think it gets easier the more you do it. I think it gets easier the better you become at it. It's one thing to face the same situation over and over and over again and not do anything different. That's the definition of insanity. So why would you expect a different outcome than because it's also a little insane when you have opportunity to grow and you refuse to grow. That's a different conversation. A lot of time you think that the definition of insanity is only applicable when things are going wrong, when things are going you know, differently than you would like for them to be going. But in reality, sometimes we're just coasting through life and everything's fine. If it ain't broke, don't fix it is the only adage you've ever known. So you never try anything new. And you wonder at some point, what if? What if things could be even better than they are now? What if in the next 5 years I could actually demonstrate growth? What would that look like? And then you start to think about what you're doing now versus what you could be doing. Even if no one's ever done it before, you have an opportunity to be a pioneer, right? But let's get off of that because that could be a whole episode in and of itself. Today, I am stronger than ever before. A lot of these affirmations, um, they come on the right day. I don't know what your experience has been. If you have the book, if you don't have the book, then you probably haven't had the opportunity to experience unless you're just watching the show faithfully. But I know for me that the affirmations they come and they're always super relevant. Today, I needed to know that I'm stronger than I've ever been because the conversations that I'm having this week, not just in the next month or so, this week, personally and professionally, the conversations that I'm having are unique to conversations that I've had in the past. And I've got to be willing to give it my best because I want the best outcome. And yesterday we talked about your strength coming from joy. So I can remember what to do when I wake up in the morning. I can remember what to do even in the moment that I'm frustrated. It doesn't mean that you won't get angry. Joy is not an emotion, it's a source of strength. Sometimes we get really confused. We think that joy is like happiness. Happiness is fleeting, joy is an absolute. So if you are leaning into joy, you are leaning into a source of strength. If you are connecting and pulling from joy, you are connecting with and pulling from a source of strength. And if you're stronger than you've ever been before, it's because you made it through yesterday. You made it through the day before yesterday. You made it through the trials and tribulations that came before the ones that you are facing right now. And even if you don't realize that you are stronger, you are. Like you literally are. It's not even up for debate. So if you take a look at your life, if you take a look at the last 5 years, examine what you've been through. Examine how you made it through those situations. And you might not even get it all right. You might not have all the answers. There are things that I look back on that I've looked back on before and didn't realize that, oh, because I had communicated effectively, or because I had advocated for myself in this situation, because I had done my due diligence. Ooh, the thing that's coming to mind right now is standing up for myself when I was working with a corporation that was actively trying to infringe upon my rights. And because we have such limited time, I've got to pick and choose what I'm going to talk about. But I do think that this is worth it because a lot of people face similar situations. Especially in the workplace where not only do you not realize when the company is infringing on your rights, but you also, unless you've done your due diligence, unless you've actually read up on your rights, you often will give up rights. You'll agree to give up rights, and then you actually have no claim to those rights. So it's really important when you are entering into difficult conversations or difficult situations, especially when you have the heads up that, hey, this challenge is on the horizon. This is something you need to get prepared for. It would behoove you to do your due diligence and to understand what your options actually are. And then I would encourage you to step forward in courage and in confidence. Once you have clarity, it is so much easier to walk in confidence. Because if you're clear about what is for you and you're clear about what is against you, you can be clear about what you would like to do, right? And you can be confident in your ability to do it. Even if your legs are shaking and your hands are sweaty and your tongue is dry, you can still face that challenge that's ahead of you. I guarantee you. It might not be the most smooth delivery. I just had a conversation actually last week. So we're having a difficult conversation this week, but last week was when it was supposed to happen, and it didn't happen. And it ended up being a contentious sort of back and forth between me and another person. And I was really firm. And I said, hey, you know what? I know what my options are, and this is what I've decided to choose. Just like yesterday, I think I gave you the story about being at the laundromat and people were cutting to get to the dryer. And I said to my mother and my sister, I said, I will wait begrudgingly. I know what my options are. I've chosen. I've chosen. I acknowledge exactly how I felt and how I wanted to handle that situation. And once I had decided, I didn't want to be disrespectful. I didn't want to be unkind or unfair to the other people who were around me. But I did want to acknowledge that I was upset, and I did not want to pretend to not be upset about the situation that I was facing. And I was able to handle that with clarity and confidence. And within 5 minutes after deciding to be begrudging, I think it was very quick that I went from waiting to putting my clothes in the dryer and walking out of the laundromat and coming back when it was time. But the point of all of that is to say that I get to observe what I did and how I handled the situation. And if I face that situation again, I can decide to do things differently. But again, you've got to do the work. You're not going to take this affirmation and then be great or be successful without actually doing the work. You don't, if you read this affirmation, today I am stronger than ever before, and you don't evaluate, you lose the opportunity to understand what that affirmation means or what it has to offer you in terms of value. When I read that affirmation, I thought about the difficult conversations that are ahead of me or that I'm in right now, and similar conversations, because, like I said, some of them are different. I've never faced them before, but they're relative. You've had conversations in your life about relationships before, whether it was with a sibling or a friend or a love interest or a parent, a teacher, a coworker, a colleague, a classmate, a stranger on the street, or a neighbor on your block or in your building. How you handled that conversation and how it ended up can inform you, can teach you a lot about whatever it is that you're going through right now, how you're currently handling it, how you could adjust the way that you're handling it, and how you could adjust the outcome. There's a lot of stuff that isn't out of or that isn't in your control, but there's a lot of stuff that is within your control. And I wonder, of course, how I'm going to handle this situation effectively and what it's going to look like in the next 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours. But I don't worry about what's going to happen because worry doesn't empower me. It disempowers me. Worry doesn't empower you, it disempowers you. It does not give you any more authority over your situation, and it doesn't give you any authority over the things that are outside of your control. Worry steals time, it steals energy, it steals your ability to handle things effectively in your life. You can be concerned about something, you can be aware of it, you can acknowledge and plan around something. This is why I don't even like venting. What is that? Vent sessions annoy me to no end. I don't like to vent, I like to game plan. So, what is it that we're facing, and what is it that we can do about it, and what is it that we're going to do about it? Those are the conversations I prefer over, well, this happened at work today. Well, this happened in this relationship, or this happened and I'm upset about it. I'm upset about the situation. Here's what I'm going to do about it. And here's the outcome that I'm expecting. And if you get the outcome you expected, then maybe you can look at that and stamp it as a success. If you don't get the outcome that you were expecting, then maybe you can stamp that as a near miss or far miss, if it was a far miss. And you can figure out what to do to improve the outcome the next time. But every single day that you wake up, I guarantee you, you are stronger than you'll ever know. The song that I sang, I'm not going to sing it right now, but I'll find the episode and I'll put it in the episode notes. But it's a song that says, "You are stronger than you'll ever know. The rain may fall and the winds may blow, though your heavy heart feel low." Because in some of these difficult conversations, in some of these difficult situations that you'll face, your heart will be low. But you have to remember that you are stronger than you'll ever know. What does that really mean? Beyond looking back at what you've been through, which can be a source of encouragement, it's always an academic research, right? But what it really means that you are stronger than you'll ever know is that no matter what you're up against, no matter what you're facing, no matter how long you've been on this earth, there is so much more for you to discover about yourself than you can even conceive. Just yesterday, we were celebrating the milestone of reaching over 1,000 unique visitors on this website. And then today, we're celebrating another milestone where we broke that record the very next day. I had no idea that that was getting ready to happen. I actually thought we weren't going to see that until January of next year. And then here we are, a couple months ahead of schedule, or maybe 5 weeks ahead of schedule, right? What that tells me is that for as much as I've planned and as much as I've worked, as much as I've invested, I know how great it is. I know how valuable it is from what I can measure, but I don't know how much further it's going to go and how much wider it's going to expand once it is outside of me. What I'm saying here is whatever it is that you're doing, whether it's a research project, whether you sent out a proposal for a contract, whether you are doing sales and marketing actively in the field, or you are asking someone to be in relationship with you, whether it's a friendship or a love interest or a family member, maybe that someone that's been distant in the past, you have no idea how great your investment in your faith and your hope could be unless you actually apply it. So I'm encouraging you to really lean in to the strength that is within you and really see what can come of this. What can come of me deciding, yes, I'm going to take this step. I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to try this out. Yesterday, I said, whether you fail or fly, you'll have done your best to try. And today, I'm doubling down on that. Whether you fail or fly, you will have done your best to try. But don't worry about tomorrow. And I think it's a scripture that says that worry won't add an hour to your life. Don't worry, because it won't empower you. It will disempower you. Instead of worry, wonder. Wonder encourages action. Worry encourages inaction. Wonder encourages curiosity, which can lead to clarity, courage, and confidence. Whereas worry, it leads to confusion, doubt, inaction, and those are things that will disempower you. So I encourage you to lean in to wonder, and you'll find that you are stronger than you've ever been before. I have to go. I love you. I'll see you later. Peace.